Okay, you ready? Hello, my name is Jericho Lopez,
And I'm Riley Cleary.
and we're here to pass our lab practical.
Come on, man.
We're here to learn and see if you can become ambidextrous.
And then pass our lab practical. Ambidexterity is when a person has the ability to perform the same task with their left and right hand equally.
A person develops their preference to what they want to use to their left and right hand during early childhood. Sometimes their parents have an influence over that, like, oh yeah, you should write with your right hand. But when they start practicing with their hand that they've chosen, the brain develops like neural pathways, and your right hand or left hand becomes more dominant in your writing.
Statistically, there is actually only one truly ambidextrous person in about every 100 people.
There can actually be like developmental complications with learning how to use both of your hands. There was a study in Finland that showed that children in adolescence learning to be ambidextrous, they were developing attention deficit hyperactive disorder and speech impediments. So they had them stop doing that. Our hypothesis is this: if we practice with our left hands enough, then they will write as well as our right hands.
And then we'd be ambidextrous.
Firstly, my partner and I are going to write the sentence, "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog." Neither he nor I have ever written this sentence ever before the experiment happened.
This sentence is crucial to our experiment because the saying has all the letters of the alphabet in it.
Then our project kind of follows the same path a kindergartner would go through when they're learning how to write the alphabet. We're going to replicate 4 letters a day for 7 days a week. And then Riley and I are going to build upon that and make it a little bit more interesting as the next couple of weeks go by.
In week 2, we will start by writing basic 3-letter words like cat or dog. And we will write these words for 2 minutes each.
Then in days 14 to 21, yes, we're gonna actually do this for 14 and 21 days straight. We're gonna start writing full sentences like "I slept well" or "I can't speak Spanish."
Our favorite sentence to write for about 2 minutes each would be "I love physiology."
Finally, in our last week, Riley and I will be specifically just writing the original sentence we wrote like 3 weeks prior. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Then this is going to be cross-referenced with the original paper we wrote at the very beginning of the experiment to see if there were any like noticeable changes.
Let's go!
Well, we got to do the experiment first.
So when does it start?
Hi, so today's January 6th, 2014. Yeah. Yeah. Today is the first day of the project. This is the first time Riley and I are going to write the sentence, the initial one with all the letters in it.
For me, it was really the first time I ever written with my left hand before.
I actually broke my right hand in the 5th grade, so I had to kind of learn to write with my left hand. So yeah, but it wasn't really good because it was testing season. So no, I almost failed English in the 5th grade. But it's a good thing they push you on. It was their fault really. They gave me tests anyways.
We'll show you close-ups of the first sentence we've been writing. It's pretty bad. It looked like 1st graders had been writing.
After the initial kind of fun we had, just like practicing for the first time ever our left hands and like holding a pencil, which it felt really different, the real work began. And every day we could meet, like Riley and I would head to a classroom or something and practice writing single letters, sitting down every day.
A major problem in the experiment then occurred. We'll talk about that later in the improvement section. But it wasn't really feasible for us to continue to write letters every single day.
The first week was a little grueling, to be honest. It was kind of like the monotony of sitting down and drawing squiggles constantly they were not going to look like letters for the first week. Like that, just to be fair. And to do this again like we did in 3rd grade was a little degrading.
The second week was much more manageable. Writing single letters is kind of getting boring and useless, honestly. And writing words just added variety to the work and is much more fun. And honestly, I could see a lot of improvement from the first week. By about January 21st, we were writing small phrases or little sentences.
One of the first sentences we wrote was throw the ball. And, this is in the data section, but like I could see that my lines were genuinely getting straighter and the whole, like there was stylistic changes occurring and it was cool.
We weren't quite sure if we were supposed to write as much as we can or if we were to spend time on quality because, we only had 2 minutes, so it was pretty difficult.
Yeah, in the beginning I opted for more like quantity over quality. Here's some of the first ones that we were just like rushing to pump out as many examples as possible so it looked like we did a lot of work. But like the quality looked like crap. So we went back and like rectified that by let's just do as many of them and make them look really nice as we can.
I think I was pretty good with my writing. I focused more on getting as much as I possibly could done instead of quality. But, overall, I still think I did really good.
But then came the last stretch of the experiment, the last 7 days, where Riley and I wrote the original sentence over again and see if anything had changed.
This was pretty crucial for us. If we didn't do the sentence properly, I feel like we'd have failed. So yeah, our data supports our hypothesis.
Although there's lots of improvements that still need to be made, the lines are straighter, spacing makes more sense. If I were to show it to Miss Poland, she wouldn't ask me to rewrite it.
If one wanted to, they could, with proper practice, they could teach themselves to write with their non-dominant hand. So improvements we could have made would be writing single letters a little more. Even though it was really boring, honestly, it helped me out a lot.
Overall, if we had a more like strict writing routine, it would have helped our writing. Like it would have helped me at least tremendously. Although it's not completely confirmed, mind you, we only practiced for a month. Our experiment really shows that it's plausible for an individual with enough practice an individual can learn how to be ambidextrous.
Learning to be ambidextrous is in fact plausible.
And that's the end of our Mythbusters project. Woo! Yeah.